Hi, this is Daniela Wolf with Bestie Life, the podcast, and this is your community to support you through the little and not so little events that make up your day-to-day life. From the I've got this moments to the I just can't moments. We are here to empower all women to find and develop the skills they need to find peace, balance, and the bliss in their busy. Through solo episodes as well as interviews with amazing women who share their journey and their story and how it works for you. I hope you find the inspirations to make you laugh, think, as well as maybe rethink what you thought you knew, and connect as we realize that we are all living similar ups and downs and don't have to do it alone. So excited for you to hear this episode, and thanks so much for joining me today. Hi, this is Daniela with Bestie Life, the podcast, and today I'm so excited for you to meet Sabrina Del Duca. We actually just kind of met virtually yesterday as we were recording my episode for her podcast called Get Into the Flow, which I can't wait for you to listen to as well. But Sabrina Del Duca is a mindset and movement coach as well as has been a dance educator. She's got over 20 years experience in dance. She has 10 years in client relationship directing with an advertising industry. So she's been in corporate, she's been working with people, and she's really mastered the art of human communication and designing systems that get results. In 2019, she took a big risk, and following her own burnout, which we're going to hear all about during this episode, she realized she needed to make a major life change in her lifestyle. And so through her own interest in personal development, she dove right in, left her corporate job, and started a new path within the wellness industry and started her own coaching company where she empowers others to get into the driver's seat and create a life that inspires them. So thank you so much, Sabrina, for joining us today.
Thank you, Daniela, for having me. I'm so excited.
And that doesn't even cover all the amazing things that you've done and that you're doing to help women today. And so back us up a little bit and kind of take us through the journey that got you to where you are right now.
Thank you. Well, I must start by saying I've always been a dancer. So that's something that was a constant in my life since I was a 5-year-old kid. I've been dancing, and I started teaching very early when I was in my late teens. And that was always my passion, my backup, if you will. When I was about 25, I decided, let's get into corporate. I was always fascinated by advertising, and I studied in communication. So I figured, let's go that route. And I dove right in. I got into an ad agency in Montreal, where I'm from, started at the bottom, started, coordinator position, worked my way up to director. And those 10 years in the industry were amazing until they weren't. And I'll get to that story later. But I do want to say that the time that I was in corporate, in advertising, I really did enjoy my time. I had so many opportunities. I got to travel. I got to work with some major beauty clients and fashion clients. And it was work that I was interested in. So it did fuel me. And I did feel like I had a purpose. Then I got to a point where it just got too much. Being a client director at an agency, I was in charge of making sure the clients were happy, but also making sure the agency was happy. So
that's a lot.
I was the people pleaser, and I was making sure everybody was happy. And surprise, surprise, nobody was happy. Everybody always had something.
Including you, probably.
Including me, exactly. And in the beginning, that kind of conflict and that kind of challenge fueled me because I was like, okay, problem solving, let's find solutions. And I did. And I was like, okay, you're happy, cool, compromise. Yeah. And it kind of, that's what let me stay in that position for so long because there was a purpose for me. I felt like I was making things happen. I was making people appreciate the work and appreciate themselves. And then it just got too much. All it takes is one client who's just way too demanding and it breaks you. And that's what happened to me. But it was, I would say, 2-year accumulation where I didn't realize what I was experiencing was burnout.
And when we're in it, it's hard to see it probably.
Oh, yeah. I was giving excuses. Oh, I'm just tired. Oh, this project is just not inspiring. Oh, okay, let me put my energy somewhere else. So I actually distracted myself by going back into dance and teaching because I had taken a break. So I'm like, okay, let's go back into my passion. And then I would go back to work and nothing would be different. I take extra long vacation because my boss was like, okay, no problem, take 2, 3 weeks. But I'd come back, same thing.
Yep.
So actually, it was my boss at the time who thankfully gave me permission to do something different. He brought it to my attention that what I was experiencing was most likely a burnout. I was ready to go to the doctor, get a note, take those few months off. But then he was like, no, but you're going to come back and nothing's going to have changed. So even if you do take the time off to heal, like you have to ask yourself, is this really what you want to continue doing? And I'd never asked myself that question because I never knew there was another option.
Yeah, especially if you keep putting yourself back in the situation that led to the burnout. Like I just want to say, like your boss, holy cow, what a gift.
Yes. Oh, totally. Because you're right. Great, like I'll go on leave, but then when I come back, the whole pattern will start over again. The cycle will restart. So thankfully, he had been through that cycle himself and he noticed the signs and he gave me that out that I was very scared to, not scared. I was scared to take it, but I didn't even know it existed because I was an advertising director. That's all I knew. So, in addition to being burnt by the type of work and knowing that I wanted to do something different, then I was experiencing an identity crisis because I didn't know if I wasn't a director, who would I be? What would I do? But my health was speaking very loudly and I needed to listen. And so I did take that opportunity to leave without a backup plan. But it was time, contrary to what everyone around me was saying. What do you mean? You're crazy. What are you doing? You're leaving this steady job. It's so good. And look at this income and you're safe. And I was like, I can't. My body is telling me like I'm sick. My physically, my body is telling me it's enough and we need to do something different.
Right. No, that's awesome that you listen because safety isn't always healthy.
No, exactly. I was comfortable, but I was miserable. Right. So my body was speaking very loudly. I was able to listen. I was able to take that leap. And thank goodness, because then I gave myself the opportunity to search for what I truly wanted to do in this next chapter of my life. Right. So thinking of it like that too, that helped me because at first I was ashamed and I felt very guilty for feeling this way because on paper, my job was amazing and it was, and I loved it until I needed something more. And a friend told me, you've outgrown the job. And I think by thinking of it that way of like, it's just a chapter that I need to close and then start a new chapter, it allowed me at least the opportunity to say, this was still an important part of my life. And I've done everything I could do within that role. And now it's time for me to discover something new.
Yeah. And I think the fact that you were able to recognize that need for closure, because I think so many times we take that chapter and we turn it into the longest run-on sentence ever,
Yes.
So good for you for getting that, putting the period at the end, moving on, because I think to be able to move on from being stuck and being comfortable but miserable, it's not an easy task to do, and it takes a lot of courage. So congratulations on that.
Thank you. Thank you. And I know it's so difficult for so many people. That's why I love talking about my story, as vulnerable as it makes me to share my story. I love to speak openly. And thank you, Daniela, for everything you do as well, because you are helping so many people in this position to speak openly and realize that, hey, we all go through it and it's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And coming out on the other side, it's going to look different for everybody, which is why, to hear your story, to hear all these other stories, I think is so powerful because that's where we can see bits of ourselves and find that spark for change. So, thank you for sharing everything because it's hard to be vulnerable. It's hard to share our weakest moments for sure. But then, so these new opportunities that you've come into, tell us about those because they're obviously fantastic also.
Yes, thank you. Well, when I was in my reflection mode, my exploration mode, if we can call it that, it actually lined up when the pandemic was happening. So I had the gift of time. Everything shut down. So I was able to do the work to be able to discover what it is that I wanted to do. I did go back to teaching as a part-time, which became one of the biggest opportunities for me because I now teach in a high school. So I get to impart the wisdom that I've been learning onto the kids as well. But in the reflection exercises I was doing, it all came down to I want to impact, I want to help people. I want people to be able to have the tools to go through life and be able to figure things out and get to where they want to be. I don't want anyone to have to feel like I felt.
Mm-hmm.
So, with my experience and specifically the career change, I decided let's be a coach. Let's be a career
Mm-hmm.
coach. Let's go get all the certifications. Let's get the knowledge and let's help people transition careers into something that they feel like they have purpose for. And more importantly, communicate that it's okay to change your mind. It's okay to want something different down the road. You're not stuck in the same career, the same job forever.
Oh, yeah. I mean, half the time you're picking it when you're 17, 18, 19 years old, and you still don't even know
Exactly.
yourself at that point. I didn't figure myself out till probably like 30, 35, 30, 40. I'm still on that journey in
Exactly.
my
Yeah.
50s. And so, absolutely, to allow yourself to pivot as you grow and become a different person than you were in your teens and that type of thing. I think we don't always give ourselves that permission, but when we do, it can have massive impact.
Agreed. Agreed. And you're right. That's what I was thinking. I chose this career when I was 20, 25, and now I'm like approaching 40 and I'm a different person. So, of course, my needs are different. So,
Yeah.
with that in mind, it's kind of like, hey, ladies, gentlemen, everybody out there, like it's okay to change your mind. It's okay to want something different.
Mm-hmm.
And that in itself could be scary. For me, it was scary. Okay, but now what do I want? How do I figure it out? So I designed a program to help people, like a 12-week program that I can
Mm-hmm.
guide you through that kind of reflection and then determine what path you'd like to go in and get yourself ready to change careers.
That's awesome because I think that's the part that's missing sometimes is that roadmap, that direction, and it's easy to just kind of keep going in circles and spinning and then going back to what if you can't see where you're headed and what the ultimate goal is.
Right. Clarity, right? That's something that I
Mm-hmm.
was lacking. I wanted to do something different, but I didn't know exactly what. So the first step is really get clear on what you want. What
Mm-hmm.
is it that lights you up? What is it that's going to bring you purpose? What is it that's going to excite you when you wake up in the morning? And that was a huge indicator because at the end of my corporate career, the first thought I would have in the morning when I woke up was, and this is horrible, but I'm going to say it,
Mm-hmm.
how can I call in sick today?
Yeah. No, you're
Like
probably not
what
alone.
Right. And I know I'm not alone. I know a lot of people wake up with this like dread of, oh my goodness, I have to go to work today. What excuse can I give so I don't have to go in? And
Mm-hmm.
I would start going in a bit later because I would just be hesitating and like putting it off. And obviously then it impacts the work, it impacts the other people. So I was really doing myself a disservice. And with that in mind, I'm like, I don't want people to feel this way. And if people do feel this way, how can I help them? How can
Yes.
I, give them some tools to help them to wake up and feel like, okay, I have a purpose and I'm excited to start my day because, example, right now, I get to speak with people like you, Daniela. I get to be on podcasts. I get to meet people. I get to help people. And that's
Right.
what fuels me. And that's what really lights me up. And that's why this coaching practice is something that I'm so happy that I've begun because I'm really finding, I mean, it's hard, everything's has challenges, but I find that it's so rewarding
Mm-hmm.
to be able to even have a small part in help guiding someone to be a better person, to have a better lifestyle, to just help them progress along in their life.
No, that's awesome because it is, it's a gift to be able to do that for others, to be able to help them on that journey and everything like that. I know one of the common things we both share in talking about is mindset,
Yes.
and so I would love to hear a little bit more about your perspective on mindset and how you help people reframing their thoughts and things like that.
Yes, mindset. Love mindset. And when I realized the importance of mindset and how everything starts with our thoughts. And, we had a
Mhm.
similar conversation yesterday because
Yeah.
this is what we have in common, right? It all starts with our thoughts because our thoughts influence our feelings, which then
Mhm.
influence our actions, our behavior. And when we realize that our thoughts, even if we can't control the thoughts that come in, we do have the power to change our thoughts, to
Mhm.
change our mindset, to help ourselves get to a place where we're a little more positive, we're a little more motivated, we're a little more inspired. And I feel like mindset, it plays a part in every aspect of our life, whether we
Right.
want to believe it or not, right? It's with bigger circumstances, like how you're feeling, where you're at in your life, but also, when you wake up in the morning, how you interact with someone, how you receive information, how you perceive information. That's a big one too.
Yeah.
But mindset, I find even for myself, when I started realizing the power that I had and all those old stories that were just kind of on repeat in my mind, they were holding me back from even taking a risk. For example, when in 2019, when it was like, okay, I'm faced with this decision. Do I leave my job and leap into the unknown and start something new, or do I stay here? Obviously, the old pattern or the old thought in my mind is like, choose safety, choose
Right.
security. But then my thought process was, okay, but I know the outcome. I know that I'm going to continue to fall deeper into this burnout situation. I'm going to, I'm not helping myself in terms of health wise. So my reframe needed to be, I need to put myself first. And my thought needs to be, I need to try something. Even if it fails, I need to get out of this current situation because it's not helping me. It's holding me back. So mindset, even, taking a risk or giving yourself the support that you need to kind of just do something different, try something different. It's that courage that comes with it to be able to then say like, okay, I'm trying something new. I'm following my heart. I'm following my dreams. But it all starts with, what is that thought that you plant in your mind, or what is that thought that you are referring to when it comes to a certain situation?
I love the way you talk about it, because I think it does make it seem so accessible and achievable, and that's the whole part of it. Is a lot of times people think, oh, that worked great for you, but and they have, this list of obstacles and things that get in the way. And so definitely being able to see the possibility, see that it's a process, but it's a journey that you can definitely travel down.
Definitely. And every day is different, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
sometimes, even if we're doing the work, myself, if I know I'm aware of my thoughts, I'm aware of what I need to reframe, I'm aware of what I need to do to help myself. Sometimes it's hard. Let's be honest.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes you wake up and you're like, I'm having an off day. And it's
Mm-hmm.
knowing in those moments that it's okay. Just meet yourself where you're at. What is the bare minimum that you can do just to help yourself get through the day? And tomorrow will be better. So
Yeah.
it's not forcing it either.
I like to think of it too. Sometimes it's not about eliminating, that one thought, because when you try and tell yourself, not to do something, don't think of the pink elephant in the room. You're going to think about a pink elephant.
For
So
sure.
it's about maybe adding other thoughts so that the percentage of, space that one negative statement takes up in your brain, takes up in your mind, is going to be so much less than, okay, I doubt myself, I'm not sure, but, and you add all these other positive things and it gets kind of outnumbered.
I love that. I love that. Yes,
So what kind
definitely.
of things then do you do on a regular basis now that you've, come out on the other side a little bit and you see the benefits of that personal development things? How are you kind of maintaining and helping to take care of yourself on a daily basis?
Great question. I always find moments for gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that you and I have in common as well.
Yeah.
Gratitude, right? I think, the practice of gratitude is so powerful. And we can notice even just in thinking, having your mind shift to a more grateful area already stimulates and boosts your mood without
Mm-hmm.
even realizing, right? So just having, even if I have a moment where, like, example, this happens often in my line of work, teaching and coaching, I'm always going places, right? I'm on the go, which I love because every day is different. It keeps me going, it keeps me moving. But sometimes the thought that crosses my mind is, ugh, I have to go here, or I have to drive here, I have to go there. What I've caught myself, when I catch myself, I should say, thinking that, I will reframe and say, wait a second, I get to do this. I've
Yeah.
chosen this life and this path. And just that simple one word shift from I have to I get to changes my mood immediately.
Mm-hmm.
I almost feel my body relaxing, going from a tense state of like, oh, I'm gearing up to go do this, to, oh no, but I get to do this. I
Right.
get to share with all these people. I get to dance with them. I get to impart wisdom. I get to connect with them. Already that changes my mood, it changes my outlook, and then I'm ready to
Mm-hmm.
go.
Yeah. No, and I love the way you kind of just, again, share that, just as even as a coach, as somebody who does this, who helps others with it. You know what? We're people. we have those moments. We still get in our funks. We still,
Yep.
all those kind of things. And it's a constant practice. It's something we still work on. It's not about the destination at the end, but it's about the process along the way.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
And finding time, well, something that
Yep.
you mentioned in our other conversation, finding time for self-care, finding time
Mm-hmm.
for me, that is a work in progress. But when I do get those 15 minutes, 1 hour, half days of just sitting and relaxing and doing things that recharge me, for example, reading, just being outside in the sunshine, going for a walk, being in nature, that
Mm-hmm.
kind of stuff, I know I need to make more time for that. And that's
Okay.
definitely part of the self-care that I want to include more daily.
That's awesome. So we all still have goals we're working on, and to appreciate, the fact that you have the opportunity to do that and to work on it is fantastic. So no, thank you, Sabrina. So what would be kind of one thought that you would leave with my listeners today, one place to start or one kind of nugget of wisdom?
When it comes to mindset and reframing, maybe just start by being aware of your thoughts. Start by being aware of what it is that you think about on a daily basis. Do you have one thought that keeps coming back that holds you back? So we all have that kind of inner dialogue, and sometimes those limiting beliefs or negative self-talk where you want to do something, you want to try something, but the first thought is, oh, well, I can't do that. I'm not good enough for that. Or she's much better. He's much better. So the first thing I would say is try to be aware when these thoughts pop up, because then you're in a position to say, okay, well, is this true? Or is this just my old story and old beliefs that are coming back to hold me back? And then once that's identified, say, okay, well, what can I replace that thought with? Or like, how can I change my story? How can I rewrite my story to help me get to where I want to be?
No, that's great. That's a great actionable tip. So pause, rewind this if you didn't catch that, so that you can start taking some action, start taking time to rewire your thoughts, rewrite your life, and create the dream that you're looking for, just like Sabrina did. So no, thank you, Sabrina. So where can people find you? How can they work with you?
They can work with me. Everyone listening, if you're looking for guidance for coaching, check out my website. I have a 12-week program called Rewrite Your Life, where I help you do just that, start a new chapter, get clear on what is that vision of your future self, and then we build a roadmap for you to get there. So my website is sabrinadelduca.com. My full name, sabrinadelduca.com. I also have one-off coaching sessions available, or even just a group coaching. So depending on what your needs are, we can definitely start by having a quick discovery call to see how we can work together. If you are listening and you're more in the dance world, I have dance classes as well, but you can contact me on my website. And also on Instagram, you can find me Duchess Sabrina. Or Get Into Flow podcast, which is my podcast that you can also check out.
And I was on your Instagram and I saw you dancing with your students. It was amazing.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, you look, it took me a quick second to pick you out, because you look like one of the girls, one of the students in your class, and you're fantastic. And it's definitely inspiring, like makes me want to go. At one point when I was really young and I danced, for 12 years, I wanted to be a solid gold dancer. You remember that show?
Amazing. Yes, I do. And for sure,
I'm not even close to that anymore,
too.
But you know what I mean? Like you were like, oh my gosh, I really do still want to do that. No, I can't.
Yeah.
But
why not? Yeah.
Well, the show's not around, but I could definitely still dance. Yes.
True. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Well, thank you.
But no, all those links will be live in the show notes below. So thank you so much, Sabrina, for sharing your gifts with everybody and just for all that you give back to the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Daniela. Really a pleasure to be here.
Thanks so much again for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please let me know any questions or comments that you have. Also, if you can please leave an Apple 5-star review so that this episode can be shared with more women. There's 2 quotes that I love. Alone we may be strong, but together we are stronger, as well as when women support each other, incredible things happen. So let's be stronger and incredible together, as well as maybe just have some fun along the way. Thanks so much and talk to you soon. Bye.